let's throw in a bug resist. And it's just like, why? Bug didn't need that. Bug already
really
hurts.
Did not. It really didn't.
And now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town radio tower, it's the one, the only Pucko Podcast!
It's Pucko! Pucko! It's Pucko! Pucko! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! Pucko! Grab your friends, it's that time again! Listen to the show where the fun never ends. It's Pucko! Pucko! Oh yeah! Pucko! Drink that! Your co-host, whoever you have, it's Pucko! Pucko! Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah! Pucko! Pucko!
And welcome to the 345th episode of the Pucko Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my excellent co-host,
Dr. Shamu.
And Sublime.
And as always, we are here to bring you the Pucko Podcast. Pucko, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name that we came up with in 2007. We discuss everything from the video game to the trading card game to Pokemon Conquest 3. So welcome to the show if you're new. Welcome back if you're old. We've got a lineup for you today, and we're really excited to get into it. But before we get too deep into the Pokemon chit-chat about the news and the topic and all this other stuff today, we would like to ask our co-hosts how they've been recently. How you been doing, guys? How you been doing? Shamu just got home from work, so...
A 10-hour shift.
Oh, God, that's awful.
Yeah, it was not fun.
I don't envy you. I literally have no envy. So, I apologize for that. Have you done anything cool in Pokemon lately? You haven't been on the show in quite a while.
No, it's been a while.
It's been a spell.
It's been like a month and a half, I think.
Wow. That's like the longest not Shamu on the show I've had in a while.
Yeah, I took a break.
Yeah, I took a break. Me and the podcast, we had to take a break. Our relationship just wasn't doing that well.
Yeah, bit bumpy. Not much, really. It's just been like the summer league here, wrapping up PDL.
Oh, yeah. Did you make playoffs, by the way?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
Yeah, you got on like full tilt at the end there.
It was just like, oh, stall. Oh. Like, it just didn't work.
Yep. I can see that. I could totally see that happening. Oh, well. I mean, maybe next season. If there is a next season. When there's a next season. The good thing about Piddle is that I don't have to run it. You don't have to run it. Somebody else runs it.
If I do it again, I'm literally just going to either mess people up or I'm just going to go jokingly into it.
Yeah. I think that's the mindset to have about most competitions, is just to like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm gonna mess some people up and make them mad, and I'm just gonna move on. But yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too shabby. What about you, Sublime? What you been up to?
I'm living my best summer life. I just finished my summer courses for grad school, and as a teacher, I have the rest of the summer off.
Woo.
To prepare for what's happening this month? PuckleCon!
Heck yeah. It's gonna be so sweet. We have a thing happening. I don't know what's going to happen at PuckleCon. I still need to call the internet people. I haven't called the internet people, and they need like 2 weeks notice. And that's like Tuesday.
That's coming up. Yeah, that's coming up.
So I need to call them very soon and get the internet package kind of just laid out and done. Because I think we decided to go with like a cheaper option. Hopefully it still can stream. We're hoping it can stream. We don't know who's going to be streaming. It'll probably just be an empty chair. But I think we'll have something going on though. We'll have something. And you'll at least be able to watch the people play the game. We'll say that much. You'll at least be able to see the people watch the game. You might not be able to have any commentary to go with that game, but somebody will be there. You'll be able to watch the game. Other than that, though, man, anything else you've been doing, Sublime? Anything fun? Like any fun things in your PuckleCon prep that you've got?
In my PuckleCon prep, yes, but
man.
it's a surprise.
Whoa, it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. That's all I'm saying. Damn, who knows? Actually,
I know what you're talking about.
Wait, now I want to know. Like, I need to know now.
That.
Who's it a surprise for?
The viewers, the listeners.
The world.
The world.
The world. It's a surprise for the world.
Oh man,
we're going global.
I'm really confused, and I want to know now because I have heard nothing about this. And if both of you know, it means that it's actually something that's going to happen.
Think I've actually mentioned it to you.
I don't remember. You might have. We talk about a lot of things, though.
Well, I guess maybe we could tease something like we'll possibly release after PuckleCon.
Oh, are you talking about that?
Yeah. Like sometime after something might start showing up.
On the Patreon?
Yeah.
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 Patreon exclusive content. That's right. I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Yep.
I get it.
But you're not ready for the surprise.
Yeah.
How is there more on top of that? I know exactly what that is.
There's more.
You
know what it is, but you don't know what all is going down.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That'll be fun.
Well, for myself, I've been doing a Crystal Nuzlocke and just playing through that for funsies. Yeah.
What do you have?
I don't remember. So one thing I forgot about Crystal is I've played through Gold and Silver like several bajillion times, but I only played through Crystal once as a kid, and so I was playing through it again. And the wild Pokemon distribution is so much better in Crystal versus like in terms of variety and species variety. Because
same thing with Platinum.
Exactly. And like on the route right after Cherry Grove City, you can catch Poliwag.
Yeah, that's good.
And so it's just like, that's cool. I can catch a Poliwag and I can have like a Politoed or something. That'd be cool. So that's one of them. I started with Cyndaquil instead of Totodile because I'm a heathen.
Changing it up.
Yep, I'm a heathen.
Also, like, fire types are kind of hard to come by.
Yeah, so. Fire types are super difficult to come by in Pokemon Gold and Silver, so I was just like, or in Crystal, so I was just like, yeah, we're just going to pick the Cyndaquil. There's water types.
You want Houndour? Too bad.
Too bad, that's in Kanto.
Exactly.
The only way to run Gen 2 is just a party of Kingler.
That's such a problem with Gen 2, by the way. Party of Kingler. So
that's what I did.
I know you did.
That was my first run through.
Yeah, so the problem with
Geodude,
like early Pokemon is that they were just like, you see these generic Pokemon should be everywhere, and by everywhere I mean literally everywhere. And then they're just like, and then you could have like some cool random ones sprinkled about. Also, by the way, all the cool Gen 2 Pokemon we came out with, yeah, those aren't until the post game. And because like Larvitar's not till the post game, Houndour, Murkrow. Oh my gosh! Like they're all in the post game.
Mareep's not bad.
So Mareep is not in Crystal.
Oh, they took that out for the distribution.
They took it out of Crystal version.
That's too bad because that's like the one kind of cool one that you get early.
Exactly. The only cool thing you get in Crystal, I would say, well, other than like the Poliwag distribution and stuff like that, is something like they had the odd egg. You could get something like an Elekid or a Magby from that, which is really cool. So you should soft reset for that. But if you listen to my previous endeavors, I forgot to save the game before that option, and so I could not soft reset without going back 2 hours in gameplay. And I was just like, ain't nobody got time for that. And so I was just like, well, we'll hatch the egg, and then an Igglybuff came out, and I was pretty disappointed. So
doesn't even have fairy type.
No, it doesn't even have fairy type. It's like garbage in Gen 2, and I'm just like, yeah, no thanks. And so into the box it went. I think I'm running like Geodude though, because I mean ground types are solid.
Geodude's solid. Rock ground.
Rock ground is pretty solid in that gen,
especially against all those like flying normal types.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of flying types. There's a surprising number of trainers that just have Pikachu. Like, there are, like, 4 or 5 just trainers that have Pikachu. It's fine.
Yeah, Geodude would be good for that. I think Geodude's really good in Gold Silver until you hit the Elite Four.
Yeah, essentially. It's
right, because it's all the types that Rock is good against that they didn't use for the first set of gyms.
Well, it's mostly special. It's mostly, like, special. That's the problem. Because I think first it's Psychic, so you're getting hit by special attacks, which Geodude absolutely hates. And then after that, you go and you fight Poison type with Koga. So that's not terrible. But then you fight the Fighting type with Bruno. And then
Dark, which is special.
And then Dark, which is special in that gen. But
and
not even
she has
Dark.
a Vileplume. So
she has a Vileplume because reasons. And
yeah.
then you fight Dragon type at the end, which was special as well.
Yeah. Like,
so
Geodude can carry you through the gyms though perfectly fine.
Oh, absolutely, except for Chuck.
Resists normal. It resists the Miltank of death. It resists that.
I just walked into that and Geodude was just like, yeah, none of this.
Then you have the ground for Olivine. Yeah, Geodude, it's solid in a Nuzlocke for Gen 2.
Oh, it's not bad at all. I'm a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been doing pretty well. I think I'm going to swap it out, though, for a Piloswine, just to get that Ice typing on the team to, round it out. Once we get to, but that's not until after the 7th gym, when we'd be done with Geodude anyway. So
yeah, true. Fair.
So after that, he goes in the box, and we go, you did good, Geodude. You did good.
Don't even get to give it Eviolite. That's sad.
Yeah, other than that, though, I beat Mario Tennis Aces this week.
You can beat Mario Tennis Aces?
There's, an adventure mode.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, I beat that. It's not good or anything. I was not very good at the game until I went through it because they force you to be good at it.
That's good. That's a good way to do it. That's how I got good at Pokken, or got okay at Pokken probably, but yeah.
You could show off some of those skills at PuckleCon, and now we've come full circle. So we are going to cut it right there. We're going to go check out the news, guys. So let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. In the news, we have several things going on. First of all, we have a lot of Pokemon Go news. So hang with me, guys. So first of all, right now, when we're recording this, the Dortmund, Germany Safari Zone is going on right now. And people are trying to get all of the research tasks done so that we can unlock more things. One of the things that we can unlock, other than hatch experience and stuff like that, like I've talked 2 weeks ago on the show, is that shiny Articuno could be available. By the time you're listening to this, this might be a thing that happens. Articuno will appear in raid battles for 3 hours on July 7th. And you can go catch it, and it has a chance to be shiny. So definitely think about doing that if you're interested in catching shiny Articuno in Pokemon Go. Also, they updated the research tasks for July. It is going to be much more Kanto Pokemon oriented, and Snorlax is going to be your 7-day research task. I find that really odd, by the way. I know Sublime was super into these research tasks, like I was.
I get that it's a downgrade from the legendary Pokemon, but I actually don't have a Snorlax, so I'm not mad.
I'm in the exact same boat. I don't have a Snorlax either.
I rarely play and I have one.
I
don't care
exactly
about you.
Common.
Yeah, they're not common. I'm okay with it. Also, I don't know if too many people have caught on to this. I think some people have caught on to it. But if you look at the order that the Pokemon have been released for the research tasks as the 7th day Pokemon, it went Moltres, which I believe is 100 it's 3, 2, 1.
It's going backwards.
It's going backwards in Pokedex order. Because Snorlax is right before all of the birds in the Pokedex. So let's hope that it doesn't keep going. I think Aerodactyl, though, is before Snorlax.
But they just had the fossil week, right?
And they're still doing it. Thing. They're still doing raid battles just with rock types right now.
Yeah, so everyone had their chance to get an Aerodactyl in a raid. I just got an Aerodactyl in a raid during that time. I don't think you need to have that as a research reward.
Bring on the Entei, man. Bring on the Entei. Yeah. I don't think they want to do that, though, until they bring up the Celebi quest line. I honestly don't think they'll do that until we get the Celebi quest line. We'll get those at the same time. That's my opinion. Moving on to more Pokemon Go type news. We also have the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and you can customize Pikachu and Eevee. It's fantastic. There's a video about it, and you can customize them and dress them up and make them all cute. And that is it. So my favorite app that Pokemon has ever put out, by the way, is called Pokemon TV. It just got an update.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
It's back on Amazon Fire, for those of you who actually care. And it's on Sharp Smart TVs now. It's really weird. It's just all over the place. So first of all, I think this is a fantastic app because you can hit up most episodes of the Pokemon anime in a year through this, because for every generation, they'll have 10 episodes a week, and then they'll just keep cycling
rotate.
them. Yeah. It's not like a straight up binge watching service, but it is.
You can watch an era of Pokemon if you felt like it. Yeah.
Yeah, for free.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic. I love that app. And so just letting people know, it is now available again on Amazon Fire, which honestly I think is probably one of the more popular streaming sticks. Though I think Roku is up there. I forget that they're a company, and they're probably excited that we mentioned them as a company. And then you also have, I think Chromecast allows it as well.
Yes.
So there you guys go. Also, if you live in North America and you want to get even more depressed, if you want to get a Thundurus or Tornadus for your Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon or Sun and Moon games because of the distribution of legendaries this month, guess what, guys? We're going to Target.
No, not again. I didn't go last time. I did not go.
Neither did I. It is at Target, though, if you would like to go to Target.
So which generation gets Tornadus and which games get which?
I do not know. It's the one that you don't catch in the game.
Okay.
Because their version
so
exclusives.
It's just your opposite, guy.
Yeah, it's the opposite. And if it's for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, the only real reason to get these is
the gold bottle cap.
It's holding a gold bottle cap. That is literally the only reason to get them. So just remember that. I guess that is it for Pokemon news, but I do have a good amount of Puckle news if people will bear with me. I'm sure this is the part that people fast forward through. But for those of you who are wondering why you can't listen to the TCG cast this week on the Puckle feed, that's because we are moving TCG cast to its own feed called Puckle Plus. It's going to be there with Game Corner and also with Battlecast when it reunites itself with the feed and it comes back to life. Shamu and I actually had plans to record twice this week, and they both fell through horribly. Mostly, it was all my fault. And so you can blame me, because my work ended up catching up with me, and I couldn't do it. But this month there will be a Battlecast, I promise, because I actually have 2 days set aside that we can do that. And then, so if you want to, please go subscribe to Puckle Plus. You can find it on any of the platforms that you typically find podcasts on. Just find Puckle Plus, subscribe to it, and you can go ahead and listen to all of those fun sideshows. Please do go find it. Also, Summer League is still going on. If you want to learn how to get into competitive Pokemon, that's the way to do it. Come to our Discord server. You're going to have a bunch of awesome gym leaders trying to help you out. Badge collection goes until when, Shamu?
I believe it's like August 5th.
August 5th. August 5th.
So you got a month.
You've got a month to get all those badges, which I think is doable, actually. You only need 8 badges. There are 10 gym leaders. We made it easy, so you can try to find them at those times. And typically around the last 2 weeks, they try to make a double effort to be available, more so than their times on the website. So definitely check that out. We almost have a couple of people with enough badges right now, right?
I know we have. I don't know if we have one yet or not. There's one person who's close. There's a couple people who've got, like, I think 4, 5. But yeah, there's still a couple people lagging behind a bit.
Yeah, I would like to point out, though, that if you do this and you get the 8 badges and you get into the final tournament, you will actually be able to win a 2DS XL by winning the tournament after you collect the 8 badges. So I do suggest you do it. It's a great way to get a free 2DS XL. It's orange and it looks cool. And somebody asked me if I could sign it. Which maybe they were just like, could everybody at PuckleCon sign it for me? And I'm just like, well, you won't win by then. It won't happen by until the end of August. But we can consider it. We could sign it and ruin this 2DS XL. But that is it. Oh, also, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, but PuckleCon is happening July 21st and 22nd at the Dayton, Ohio Convention Center, room 306. If you guys want to come and have some Puckle fun and play some video games with us, including this awesome side event of a Pokemon Stadium 2 minigame, you can minigame tournament, I should say. We still have to figure out those logistics. I haven't actually figured those out. I'm just like, Pokemon Stadium 2 minigames are fun. And then I wrote it down.
They are. They are.
And then I wrote it down. So we should probably get the logistics of that tournament figured out.
Those should just be included in every Pokemon game going forward.
Yeah, exactly. So
no one would complain.
No, exactly. So if you want to come to PuckleCon, that's how you do it. If you have any other questions, you can talk to me. We have a full schedule posted on our website, so please definitely check it out. We're also on Pokemon.com for this. It's sweet. So that is going to be it for the news, guys. We are going to kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're about to rip your hosts' heads apart and see how much Pokemon knowledge they know. So let's kick it on over to the quiz. And on to the Puckle's Poke Quiz, the segment of the show where we quiz your co-host on their innate Pokemon knowledge. So, of course, that means no computer screens, guys. You have to use what's in your heads. And you guys are going to have you're going to have 5 questions. You are going to have each question is worth 1 point. One of these questions will have a bonus point, which will give you a total of 6 points. You'll also have 1 hint you can use for all of the questions. If you get all of the questions correct without using the hint, you can cash that in for a bonus point for a maximum possible total of 7. The ladder has just reset as of last week, so Maximus is in the lead with 5 points, and everybody else has to get on the board. Today, guys, you can potentially take first place. And you are playing for a plush on the PokemonCenter.com website of a value of $20 or less. If you guys are ready, we'll get into it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So question number 1 is one that I found online. It is also a multiple choice question, so hopefully you guys do well here. So which of the following Pokemon can't learn Bubble Beam in any generation or main game? Okay, so Bubble Beam, that's the move. Which one of these Pokemon can't learn it? And here are 4 Pokemon. Kabuto, Totodile, Cubone, or Poliwrath? Which one can't learn Bubble Beam?
That's deceptive. That's deceptive as hell. Watch Cubone no Bubble Beam. Well, I know Poliwrath gets it.
Yeah, Poliwrath gets it.
For sure we can, scratch that one out. I don't think Totodile gets it, does it?
I don't think it does, but I can't...
No, it learns other types of water moves. I don't think it learns Bubble Beam.
Well,
That's not
wait, no, I think it's Totodile. Because if I remember right, Bubble Beam was actually a TM in Gen 1.
Well, there you go. It's got to be.
I kind of want to go Totodile too, because I think Cubone actually gets it.
I bet it does. You put something that out there, it's.
I don't think it's Gen 1 too.
It's red herring. Yeah.
Yeah. All those Pokemon were Gen 1 too, other than Totodile. Mm-hmm. And I because Gen 1 had some weird TMs. And I remember Bubble Beam being I think it was TM 22 too.
Mm-hmm. And I think Kabutops actually might just learn it.
I think it gets Bubble at least. But
yeah, I think it at least gets Bubble, and then Kabutops gets Giga Drain too. Yeah, sure, whatever. It's weird.
I'm gonna need an answer.
Yeah, I think we should go with Totodile.
Yep,
that is correct. Totodile is the correct answer. Totodile cannot learn Bubble Beam because of the exact reason Shamu stated. It was a TM in Gen 1. Cubone learns a crazy amount of special TMs. And Marowak's special attack is base 50. It's absolute garbage.
You'd think it was a normal type, yeah.
It's absolute garbage. It learns Ice Beam and Thunder. It learns so many crazy moves.
It still does, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Fire Blast, Thunder.
Because Marowak.
Soy Specs Marowak. Little did you know.
Yep, fun fact. But yeah, it can learn Bubble Beam. So there you go. The more you know. Oh man, that means you could have an Alolan Marowak that knows Bubble Beam.
Oh, you could.
I just thought about that.
Oh, I want to work on that.
Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah.
New life goal. All right, so that's 1 point. You guys are 1 for 1. We are going to go ahead and move on to a question brought to you by none other than Claude9. And he wants to know, sometimes when Pokemon evolve, they change typing. What is the most common type that they evolve into?
They evolve into?
Yeah, what type typically gets...
that they didn't previously have?
Gain or... a type that they gain that they didn't previously have.
Well, I'm trying to think.
The most common one.
Well, I can tell you right now, 3 are fighting.
That's a good choice.
And that's the starters right off the bat.
Right, and then
also,
you have
Breloom
and Gallade.
Yep.
And I'm feeling like this was a good choice. Yeah. And then Chestnut.
Yeah, Chestnut's one as well, because Chestnut into that. I think what other fighting types there are.
When you Mega Evolve Mewtwo. Yeah, when you Mega Evolve Mewtwo as well.
It's fighting, it's fighting.
That's an evolution, right? So I think that doesn't count, but still. The only thing is, do more things become flying? That was the only other thing I was thinking of, maybe.
I can't think.
Salamence, Gyarados, Flygon.
Flygon's not flying.
Oh, Flygon's not, but it's just in the name. I don't know why I said that. I derp. No, I think fighting's probably it. You're right.
Is that your final answer?
Why? Yeah. There's just like all these esoteric things that get fighting.
So your final answer is fighting?
Yeah.
That is unfortunately incorrect. It is flying.
Oh. Really?
You guys were super close, though.
Yeah.
Like,
we should give it to us anyway.
I wish I was that generous.
You are sometimes.
It's a new round of trivia. New foot forward until we get to like 20 points on somebody, and then you just start handing them points, so we have to reset the ladder. All right. So this next question comes from Bigby, and he wants to know, what is the one non-dragon type Pokemon that can learn Draco Meteor?
Oh.
I want to say this is like an event.
No, it's Jirachi. Jirachi, the Draco Meteor Jirachi, the thing.
Well, there you go.
It's an
Is
event.
that your
It's like
final
a
answer?
event.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's an event.
final.
I bet they did it for the
This is
Tabanada Festival.
I'm pretty sure this happened before, too. We've had this question before, I'm pretty sure.
That might have happened. I don't remember.
Because I remember answering Jirachi like 2 or 3 times at this point now.
Oh, right. That is correct. It is Jirachi. We're done. Okay, we're going to stop criticizing Thatch's trivia question selection ability. And that is 2 points out of 3. So you guys are doing pretty well so far, though. So the next question is your bonus point question. Well, I will take 1 point for each answer. There are 2 answers for this question. And this one is also brought to you by Claude9. And he wants to know, there are 2 Pokemon types that are never gained when evolving when a Pokemon evolves. What are they?
Normal.
Yeah.
What gains normal? Nothing gains normal.
Yeah, that's actually, that's accurate.
That's one of them. Now the other one, that'll be trickier. Does anything gain grass?
No, I don't think it does. I'm trying to think of something.
Let's see if we can think of something. Is there like a split evolution, maybe? Oh, no, it can't be grass because of all the damn evolutions.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that was a close one.
Yeah.
What about bug? Does anything gain bug? I know there are things that lose bug, but does anything gain bug?
I think it might be bug, because I can't think of anything else. I can't think of anything right now that would... No, I think it's normal and bug.
Yeah, let's go with normal and bug.
That is correct on both accounts.
All right, good for us.
That's 4 points for you guys right now. You guys are doing pretty well. So you can tie Maximus here for number 1 spot by answering this next question, which is always a base stat question. And so I want to know this week, what normal type Pokemon has the highest base defense?
Base defense?
Regigigas comes to mind. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Regigigas has a high amount, I believe. Because attack...
It's like 160, isn't it? No, it's not that
160
high,
is attack. Its speed is 1... No, what's its speed? No, it might not be Regigigas. It might... Arceus has,
120, right?
right
So
off
that's
the bat.
the, like, number to beat.
Can't think of any other bulky, like, normal types. Oh, what are the...
You know what?
Mega
We
Audino.
haven't cashed in our hint.
Oh, we made
Let's do that.
Yeah.
It's a Mega Evolution.
Mega Audino.
Well, you know what? It's not Mega Pidgeot, so...
I'm pretty sure it's Audino.
It's not Mega Lopunny, so... Yeah, why not?
Mega Audino is correct. That gives you guys
Yeah, like
5 points
136,
for today.
right?
It's 126, but close.
126, yeah.
Yep. So that gives you guys 5 points. That puts you guys, you're tied with Maximus now for the lead. So good job to both of you. Go for that win.
I've already won, so I
You
just
both have
lift
already
others
won.
up.
You've literally both
Yeah.
already won. Go for that win, guys. Go for that win. But right now, Dr. Shamu, Sublime, and Maximus are all tied for first place with 5 points, and everybody else is at a big fat 0. So take that for what you will. I'm actually keeping count now. So that is going to be it for Puckle's Poke Quiz. Tune in next week for another exciting rendition of Puckle's Poke Quiz.
Oh, I just recorded TCG Cast too, so
Ooh,
really...
you'll get the lead. Yeah. Oh, man. So that is going to be it for this week. We will catch you guys on the flip side. We're going to take a short break and be right back with the topic.
Hey Puckalonians, it's Sublime Manic. Can't get enough of your favorite flip-flopping podcast? Then check out our social media. You can find links to our Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube all from our website, pucklepodcast.com. And you can join our Discord to hang out with your favorite hosts and other Pokelonians. Also, check us out at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. And if you have an Amazon Prime account, consider subscribing to our Twitch channel. You can also check us out at YouTube at YouTube/PucklePodcast. And we also have a Patreon if you're able to give anything at patreon.com/PucklePodcast.
And on to the topic. Our topic today is going to be changes we would like to see in the type chart. So this is going to be fun. I'm a big fan of this. Sublime came up with this one before the show, and I thought this was an excellent topic and something we should cover. Just because I think there are a lot of matchups that I think could be tweaked and things that could be made less sad. So I'll start us off real quick. I think that I would like to see Steel gain back its resistance to ghost typing. I really miss that. I think in some way you can get Ghost a little bit OP because it hits almost everything neutrally except for normal and
dark.
And dark.
That's it.
And
just
then
normal and dark.
I wish I could come in on a Shadow Ball with Ferrothorn. That's really honestly what I wish I could do. And I can't. Like, that's not an option.
I like that idea because I always thought it was unfair when Gen 6 rolled around that they took away the resistance from Ghost and Dark, right? So they're still on equal footing, Dark and Ghost, because they have very similar coverage. However, Dark got shafted because it got an additional weakness and something it's not very effective against in Fairy. But Ghost was like, I'm good, right?
Yeah, I
always thought it was unfair the way they kind of like hurt Dark more than Ghost. And I would like for them to be equal.
Yeah, I think it would be really nice just to have Steel type gain that resistance back. I think to some extent, you might see more Steel types in the meta then, because Ghost type moves have kind of been, they're like semi-popular. I'd say they're like no average popularity. Shadow Ball is a typical coverage move you'll see on things. And I would really like to see what kind of change in the meta. That's a tiny tweak that I think would just have a slight effect on the meta. I don't think you'd see anything break because of it. And it would definitely help out people coming from Gen 5. I don't think it should be resisting Dark, though. I don't think that makes any sense.
I don't think it makes sense for Ghost either, but like a lot of the type chart doesn't make sense. So
honestly, I could make sense of most of the type chart, and we did in an episode. Okay, so
especially because like Ghosts can phase through walls, so in my mind it makes sense for them to phase through Steel.
That's true.
But that's irrelevant to like the balancing of the types.
Exactly. I mean, it also used to resist Ghost, which is
true.
One of the things that used to happen already. Well, it was because they were just like, well, we need to make Steel this ultra defensive type.
Which it is, mostly. Right?
It is mostly, minus Ghost and Dark now, because Steel type, I think, actually has a ridiculous amount of resistances.
It still has the most resistances, for sure, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, Steel type has like a bajillion resistances. Let me see what it's resistant to. It's resistant to Bug, Dark, Dragon, Flying, this is Gen 5. Gen 6. Bug, Dragon, Fairy, Flying, Grass, Ice, Normal, Psychic, Rock, Steel. And so,
immune to poison.
And it's immune to poison. It's super.
Actually, that's something I would change. How about we do a trade-off? It's neutral to Ghost instead of it resists Ghost, but why don't we make poison just not very effective instead of immune?
I don't personally like that. I like that you can. So poison kind of has a special place in the meta, personally, for me, and that's because of literally the move Toxic. Because the move Toxic exists, I think you should have a type that is resistant to it. Because every single...
yes.
Well, no, not resistant, but like that is somewhat immune to it. Because if you look at every other move, that status is, except for Sleep, that status is immune by some type. Like, you can't be burned as a fire type.
Sure,
you can't be paralyzed as an electric type.
Poison's immune to poison, isn't it?
Yes, but...
So you'd still have that.
Poison won't gain an advantage, though, in that sense, right? Like, you can have an Arcanine come in onto something that can Willow.
Poison types.
So I don't think there's a problem with poison types. I don't have a problem with the poison types in the meta right now. I think they're in a solid place.
Yeah, I think they got help.
I think what really helped was Fairy type, personally, right? Fairy, we can talk about the Fairy type, the Great Equalizer, for an entire episode. And as much as I hated it when it was first announced, and then I've seriously come around to it because it's definitely been one of the best type additions to the game after Dark type. All three type additions were fantastic. But I will say that, like, Dark, Steel, and Fairy were all really good moves that they made that balanced the meta on purpose. Because Dark was an immunity to Psychic, and then Steel was a resistance to Psychic. I think Steel came with a bunch of other caveats, but to be fair, until recently, its move pool kind of sucked. And even now, the Pokemon that are Steel type have really bad move pools. So I think that works out in a balancing sense. But I don't know. I think that we can go back to the Ghost thing. I think Steel should be able to resist that. I think that's one thing that they could gain. I mean, they obviously already, I think they're already immune to like 10 types out of 18. So like good for them, but make it 11, just make it even. And then you also have Poison type as well. So that is, that's that one. What about you guys? Do you have any others that you want to add?
Ice. Let's talk about ice.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we start, I just want to say that ice is the way ice is for a reason. It is the best offensive type.
Okay, but it also has 4 things that are like it's resisted by. It's only effective against 4 types, and it's not very effective against 4 types. That's very balanced.
Yeah, I think I mean, compared to other types, I think it's the best type, though. Like, offensively, I think it is the best type.
That doesn't mean it should have 4 weaknesses and 1 resistance. Like, you can make it great offensively and still give it, like, something.
Especially
because it's Stealth Rock's weak, too, so.
I think they are literally what is a glass cannon.
But, like, there's so many defensive ice types, right? Like, ugh.
They try, and they're just really
right,
bad.
And if they're going to, why not give them another resistance?
I kind of want to see, like, it's already, effective against flying, but I would like to see it resist flying, too.
I was thinking the same thing, because flying spam is real, and, like, there's only 2 types that resist it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're thinking, like, actual, like, logic-wise, like, if you're going to be flapping your wings in Blizzard, your wings are going to get frozen. Like, you can't really do much against that. So, like, that's my thought of, like, why it would resist.
I don't know. It all makes sense to me, personally, why everything's resisted. By ice, and ice is one of those types. Like I said, I think the typing was made more for a move than it was for Pokemon.
But that like shafts all of the Pokemon.
I agree. There's so many cool ice types too.
Let's give them a bone.
What do you want to give them though? Like, what would you give them?
I think either a resistance to flying or water could be good.
I can see a resistance to water. I would be okay with the resistance to water. That is the only thing I can see a resistance to.
I mean, plus water's like a pretty solid type anyway, It can afford the hit.
I think water could take the hit, personally. It is probably one of the most well-rounded types, because I think water type itself only has 2 weaknesses.
It does.
Yeah, and like how many water ground types are they going to make,
Oh my gosh, they need to stop that. Like, let's take a moment and just be like, let's stop.
So then it only has the 1 weakness.
And then even then, it's just like, well, it's weak to grass. And it's just like, who's bringing grass, right?
It's to grass.
Who's bringing grass? All right. But yeah, no, that's
Speaking of grass.
Speaking of grass, let's take a moment. And I mean, that used to be the worst type.
Yeah.
IMO. Grass used to, it might also still, I mean, you could probably argue that it's still the worst type.
Like, they helped it with the immunity to powder and leech seed, but that still.
I mean, the problem is it's weak to pretty much all of the popular offensive types. Which are fire, flying,
it has more
ice,
weaknesses than
bug,
it has resistances,
poison.
Right? It's not very effective against like all of the things.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah,
and this is like one of the starter types. It needs some love because water and fire are both really good types.
Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking of bug, but grass used to be.
Bug needs help too, but yeah, grass.
Yeah, we can get to bug, but I think grass needs a little bit more love because. It's I mean, like maybe instead of being the bug type, because bug type used to be super effective to poison type, I would love to see grass become super effective to poison type rather than poison type super effective to grass type.
I don't like what that does to poison.
Yeah, we also murdered poison in the process then, but that's fine.
Yeah, nah. I think we could come up with something. What if we gave it a resistance to rock?
It doesn't have that?
No, it has a resistance to ground, but not to rock. It's super effective against rock, right? But why not just give it the resistance to rock?
That could be good, because rock's such a good offensive typing. Outside of that.
And we also need another resist for that stuff, too. Like,
yeah, it's just one of those offensive types that, like, rock is on par with ice. It's probably, like, the second best offensive typing.
Except at least rock has, like, useful resistances.
Yes. That is the difference. That is, I do like that one. But okay, so I think we all agree that we need to work on bug type.
Yes.
I feel like bug type
Yes,
got the shaft.
we all do.
Like the moment
So hard.
So the moment that it got the shaft in my mind
Was
like
fairies.
was when fairy dropped.
Yep.
Because
Why
they're
is
just like
bug
well
resisted
because
by
like
fairy?
because you look at fairy type and it's like okay, it's weak to poison and steel, two types that really needed to be
Needed
super
the
effective
help.
to something.
For sure.
And
With
then
you 100%.
and then fairy types like I'm super effective to dragon, dark, and what's fighting, which I'm like, yeah, all of those types were super
All
prominent.
of these things make sense.
All of these
I'm
things
here
make
for
sense.
that.
And then they're just like, let's throw in a bug resist. And it's just like, why? Bug didn't need that. Bug already
really
hurts.
Did not. It really didn't.
Bug's like, I already have the pain. Why did you kick me while I'm down?
Agree. Completely agree.
That was-
Defensively, I think Bug is fine. I think it needs to have one of the types it's resisted against cut, yeah.
Yes, it's resisted by a ton.
Yeah,
Like,
fire,
fairy-
fighting, flying, poison, ghost. Why does ghost resist Bug, you guys? Steel
Yeah.
and fairy.
Okay, let's get rid of the ghost. Like 100%.
And
Get rid
fairy.
of it.
Ghost and fairy. Like,
we're-
it can
yeah.
afford to lose both of those, and it still wouldn't be great.
We're nerfing the heck out of ghost, but I think that's fair.
We
Because
could've
see
got
Ghost
two
looking to be
immunities.
super
It can
effective
handle
against
it.
me.
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah, ghost has 2 immunities. It's fine. It can take a bug type. I can take a normal U-turn. Okay. And even then, how many pure ghost types are there? There's like 3 that you have to worry about. It's like Dusclops, maybe Cophagrigus, and
Bennett.
Is Maggie.
Bennett.
Oh, there's more.
Nobody runs that one.
Well, you wanted to list pure ghost types. That's all I was listing.
Nobody runs
So
it.
we've got
I
4
meant
at
relevant ones.
Mm.
They're all relevant.
You're irrelevant. It's fine. No,
I know
you're
I am,
right.
but it's like an-
And what was Cophagrigus OU? That's a question for.
That was recent. It was OU not too long ago. Probably Gen
Was
5.
Gen 5 is not recent.
Nah,
You know what? My timeline is skewed. I've been doing this podcast for so long. I have no comprehension of time. I have no comprehension of time. Let's find out.
What do you guys think of if we made? Let's go back to Gen 1. Let's make Bug and Poison super effective against each other.
That's what I was saying. I think that would be interesting. I would be down for that. Bug and Poison being super effective against each other again. I think that would be a neat little thing to talk about because some bugs are poison, right? Like that's
Yeah.
I don't think we should have like Weedle not be super effective to poison types, right? It's all about nomming on that poison.
that would be interesting, having types that are weak, like the dragon type, like dragon.
Yeah, but two different types.
Dragon.
But two different types.
But yeah,
So
but
Bug
you-
and Poison
yeah,
beating
yeah.
each other. Sure. I think that's something that doesn't exist on the type chart, does it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that would be cool to have. I think we should do that.
I think you'd see a lot more poison types pop up then, personally.
Which they deserve. I mean, they're better,
Because
but they could.
If you look up something like Araquanid, right? You would add a weakness to it of a poison type at that point.
But at the same time, it would be strong against poison as well. So
You could run something like Salazzle and give it a chance against Araquanid.
I like
this.
this.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this actually. Let's go back to Gen 1, guys, where the game was broken and the rules didn't really matter. And yeah, that's Pokemon Gen 1 for you.
Well, speaking of Gen 1, what do we think of Psychic?
Psychic, I think it got pretty balanced personally. I think it's in a good spot compared to where it was. It's not dominating the meta like
I mean,
it
it's
did.
not crazy like it used to be, which is necessary, sure.
And I don't think it's OP now. Barely anything runs
It's
it.
not OP.
You
That's
have
Psychic. Yeah.
you have Lele, where it was where it's all right. I think Psychic's in a good place where I think everything should be. Right now, what I really think is a problem is Fairy type. I think that's a little out of control.
I think if we take away the bug resistance, that helps.
I think it helps, but I'd love to see it getting another weakness. I don't know what that weakness would be, but I think another weakness to a Fairy type would definitely make a difference in how Fairy types are played.
Let's just give them the dragon treatment. Fairies are super effective against fairies.
Honestly, that might make a difference. Yeah, I'd be down. Well, no, I don't want to do that. Only because I'm scared of Gen 5 happening all over again. Gen 5,
Yeah,
Gen 5's meta scares
Dragon's
the heck
bad,
out of
for
me.
sure.
Where you just like dragon creep, and then you end up with fighting type creep, right? Because that's Gen 5 in a nutshell. Like, let's find a bigger, better dragon, and then you end up with High Dragon, who is the only Pokemon in the history of Smogon that I've seen listed in OU that says there are no counters. Like it's worse than
Active-
Lando. It was worse than Lando.
I don't know about that. It's pretty slow.
It did not if you Choice Scarf, and Choice Scarf Hydra again was really popular. And if you go back to Gen 5, there wasn't a lot that could stop that.
Yeah.
But if we give it let's just make it neutral to bug, that makes U-turn spam like a lot more threatening to fairies. Like I think that would pretty much put it where it would need to be. Without giving it another weakness, just taking away a resistance.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Because at that point, it would only have 2 resistances in the immunity to dragon.
I still don't know. It's a really good offensive type. That's really the problem.
But it was really good against what it needs to be really good against, right? We have fighting, dragon, dark. That's all it's super effective against.
Yeah, I just don't think it's got enough answers. But maybe the bug type resist could make something like Scissor more viable. But even then,
I mean, Scissor's viable anyway, right?
Yeah.
You got the bullet punch.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's the story of UU. Shamu and I have been working on UU this past month. And the story of UU is Mega Scissor and Beedrill.
Yep.
Or not Mega Scissor, but just Scissor and Mega Beedrill. That is literally the story of UU. You run one of those 2 Pokemon, you win. And bug types are in a good place. I mean, you might see a lot of those move up a tier if you remove the resistance to Fairy. Because if you look at the main issue with the Fairies is Tapus. And so we'd have to come up with a way to fix the Tapus, essentially. And we're just going to get some power creep in Gen 8, I feel like. Just to get some solid power creep.
Well, hopefully they keep doing the thing where they increase base stats of old Pokemon. I like when they do that. They need it. They really need it.
Dodrio, I think, is the biggest takeaway from that. I will always say Dodrio has gotten away because they bumped its speed by 10 points. I think getting speed bumped by 10 points is way more important than getting anything else bumped by 10 points.
Usually. Well, I mean, if you're that high already, right?
Yeah, because he was already
Like
base
at
100. Yeah, and now he's at 110.
That makes a difference. Going from 50 to 60, not as much.
Going from 100 to 110 makes a huge difference. 100 is like a good cutoff point in speed tiers. So good for you, Dodrio. I think we have time for one more. Is there anything else you'd like to change to the type chart? Anything?
Let's see.
Other than bug types and
bug needs help. We did that.
Let's see. Do you think? I mean, Dark. I've always felt like Dark kind of got a shaft.
It did, and I was bitter because it's my favorite type.
It's got like no relationships to literally anything. It's only weak to 2 things, which I kind of really hate.
It's weak to 3 things.
Yeah, 3.
Oh, Fairy. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the Gen 5
which
one.
was a big issue, right? I think it could stand to have another resistance, personally.
Yeah, it probably could. I
it
could
only has
definitely
the
see...
immunity to Psychic and then Ghost and Dark.
I would love to see it have another resistance. Let's make it
Let's
bug.
give it another resistance, yeah.
Let's
What about Steel?
I'm not a big fan of that. Steel's kind of poopy in and of itself.
Offensively, but it's still great defensively.
You know what you could do?
You know what you could do?
They should have made it resist. They should have made it resist dragon for whatever reason. Make it resist dragon. I feel real good about that.
That would be really good. I can't make sense of it.
I mean, physically, I can't make sense of it, but I feel like it would be a really good balance. Is because then you probably wouldn't have needed Fairy type almost immediately, and you would have been like, oh yeah, I'll just switch in this Dark type to take this Draco, right? And then it resists because there's only like 1 or 2 types that resist dragon, and I think Fairy is because it's immune,
it's Steel
and then Steel.
Fairy. That's
Yeah.
It. Yeah.
I think dragon could stand to take another one. And personally, like I think another defensive type to dragon would be pretty solid. And Dark is a type that's looking for another resistance, so you just slap it on there, and Dark's like, heck yeah, I'm evil now, and dragons are good, maybe.
What about normal? No, normal doesn't need to be any worse than it already is. Never mind.
Normal's fine the way it is, but I
agree.
I could see dragon type, like a dragon resist on Dark types.
I like it conceptually. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I agree.
Logically,
I agree with it. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. But I feel like
what about electric? Not enough. Yeah, electric because it puts the lights out. How about that?
Maybe I don't know.
No, you know what? Electric's not that great offensively. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. You know what? For electric, let's take away that grass resistance for whatever reason. Like grass just resists electric. I understand it, but at the same time, let's just not.
So we're gonna make grass worse?
Yeah, make grass worse again.
great. It needs the hell. We're just saying how we would make grass better.
I'm being very narrow-minded. We're just gonna focus on one thing at a time.
I don't think we can make grass better, to be honest.
Yeah, just beat them to the ground.
Yeah, we'll just take a hoe and just like chop it up to bits.
Let's just make grass weak to everything. Why not? Grass is weak to all the types. Literally.
Boom. Done. We made it happen. All right. That is going to be it for the topic. We are going to take a short break here, guys, and we'll be right back at you with the Pokemon of the episode. We will catch you on the flip-flop.
And last time on Dedenes of Our Lives, Ivysaur was still trying to find out who the father of her child was.
Ivysaur! Ivysaur!
She knew that it could be Charmeleon's son, but they'd also had an affair with Chansey.
Charmeleon! Chansey!
And meanwhile, Meowstic and Baneri were seeing each other behind Gallade's back.
Meowstic! Baneri! Gallade!
Join us for the fist-clenching, heart-wrenching season finale of Dedenes of Our Beautiflies.
Poke of the episode. And welcome back to the Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon this week is National Dex number 454, Toxicroak, the Toxic Mouth Pokemon.
It has a poison sac at its throat. When it croaks, the stored poison is churned for greater potency.
So Toxicroak is probably one of the coolest typings ever because it's poison fighting, which I think is an amazing typing. One, it's neutral to fairy, which is fantastic. It's only weak to flying, ground, and psychic, which is also phenomenal.
It is quad weak to psychic though, so it's
It
gonna
is
just, like,
quad weak
die
to psychic,
instantly.
but how many people run psychic? Not that many.
Slap a dark type on your team.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love Toxicroak. And
Also, it has dry skin, which is pretty cool because it gives
Yeah.
it another weakness and immunity.
well, it gives it
basically.
immunity for water types.
to
and
water,
it
which is
heals.
really cool. Yeah.
It's a really cool switch in too. Like, especially if you're playing somebody who, like, there's different levels of Pokemon play when you're doing competitive battles. You have what I call the level 0 players, which are the people that just look right in front of them, and they say I click this super effective move, right? And then you have the level 1 players that go, okay, I think you're gonna make you're gonna make the level 0 move. I'm gonna react to the level 0 move, right?
Yeah,
That's
and
the
then there's 0, 1, and 2.
And then 2 is, no,
Right.
I'm going to play circles around you. And so Toxicroak is
Which
one of those where you
sometimes
get some
falls to
solid.
the 0. So
Yeah, it does fall to the 0 sometimes. But you can with Toxicroak, you can play those level 1 plays like a champ without any work. Like, you can play level 1 against level 0 all day, every day, because you're going to get that level 0 Scald play almost every game. And you're just going to be like, Toxicroak comes in, Toxicroak Swords Dances. Because it turns out, I think the best set on Croagunk, or Toxicroak, not to Croagunk. The best set on Croagunk is to play Pokken. But
yes.
I actually used to run Croagunk in Little Cup for a little bit. It wasn't terrible. But Toxicroak, you can run Swords Dance, it gets Skunk Shot, it gets Drain Punch. Those are really the only ones you need. And then the fourth move, I personally like Sucker Punch just to get that little bit of priority.
Sucker Punch is good,
It's
yeah.
not particularly fast.
It's at base 85, so it's not super fast. You could run Jolly Adamant, but that also lets you run Adamant, which I think is fantastic. I mean, you could also run Ice Punch or Knockoff.
Yeah, because you get knockoff, you get ice punch, you get thunder punch, throat chop if you really want that.
So
dark.
use what you need.
Yeah, you honestly use what you need. I don't think Throat Chop's necessary. I've never seen Throat
You
Chop
have
be meta.
so Sword Dance, 2 stat moves.
You
filler.
You can run Flying EMZ with bounce.
Yeah, you could.
Ah.
But almost anything can run Flying EMZ, I feel like.
Well, bounce is a decent move for it though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's not terrible. That's true. I mean, it feels almost like budget Gyarados.
Yeah. You also
but
get
not really.
you get Bullet Punch.
Yeah, you get some main.
Bullet Punch. It gets Fake Out too, which is something I always mention.
Yeah,
not a bad move.
Fake Out's not a bad move. You could. I
You
mean,
get
I think that's
Stone
more.
Edge.
I think Fake Out means more for a VGC player than
Yeah.
anything else.
It's
Yeah. Oh, that's like a huge deal to have Fake Out though for VGC. Like that can make you worth considering.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Also-
Croagunk's a solid play. I would so Croagunk meta in VGC 19 up against Ultra Necrozma. That's going to be probably on every team everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So keep that in mind.
You also get you get Earthquake, you get Stone Edge.
Yeah.
What was the other move I saw?
Oh my gosh, his move pool's so deep.
It is. It's pretty good. Like you get the generic good like fighting rock, like the fighting rock ground coverage there, with additional dark or whatever else you want.
He's a solid mon. I'm a big fan of him. And
the only thing I think that lets it down is its stats.
It's a little subpar.
Like there's a reason it's so far down because its highest stat is 106.
Yeah, so it's for those of you at home,
all downhill from there.
It is 83 HP, 106 attack, 65 defense, 86 special attack, which isn't terrible, especially if
it's not good.
If you play in the lower tiers that he's in, like NU, you can probably get away with a special set. He also has
the second set is Nasty Plot.
Yeah, you can Nasty Plot,
and it has a really cool special move pool. Like it has Vacuum Wave.
Mm-hmm. And then he also has a base 65 special defense and a base 85 speed. So 85 is not a terrible speed tier either. Where he's at, I think 85's.
Where he's at is the thing. Like that's not good speed objectively.
It gets Icy Wind.
And it's frail.
He gets Icy Wind.
Yeah, I just went like, oh, it gets Icy Wind. So
man, Icy Wind's everywhere now because it's Move Tutor, and I love
Helping Hand. It gets a weird like VGC text.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Quick guard, or well, that's not the one. You want wide guard.
I'm a fan, man.
Yeah.
Dude, Toxicroak is solid mon. I'm a big fan of it.
Solid move pool.
Let's see.
Cool typing. Cool ability.
Was he ever relevant in the VGC or the TCG?
He was. Gen 5, I remember seeing him a lot in the VGC.
Oh, he just got a new card in Forbidden Light. And he got one in Ultra Prism. And Burning Shadows. And Steam Siege. What?
I guess they really like Toxicroak.
But there was a Toxicroak in Boundaries Crossed, which is probably the one you're thinking of. Because in Gen 5, there's a Toxicroak from Boundaries Crossed with one colorless. He could do Revenge, which if any of your Pokemon were knocked out, this attack does an extra 70 more damage.
When was Boundaries Crossed? If that was long enough ago, I think there was like Revenge was a move people would use.
Yeah, and then
Revenge was a move people would use. I don't think they used it on a stage 1 like Toxicroak. I think there was a basic that had it. Only thing.
There was a Toxicroak G.
That's
the only reason I know is I'm holding it in my hand.
Oh, that's Gen 4 Toxicroak then?
It's a Gen 4 promo, yeah.
That's Gen 4 promo then, because
I can read the whole card right here.
Yeah, go for it.
Because 90 HP, fighting. Is a Poke Power Leap Away. Once during your turn, before your attack, if Toxicroak G is your active Pokemon, you may flip a coin. If heads, return Toxicroak G and all cards attached to it to your hand. Can't be used if it's affected by a special condition.
And G is for Galactic. I want to make that clear. And I mean, and it's a basic because it's like the new EX, like with the EXs were
the old EX, yeah.
And then it has an attack, Poison Revenge for Psychic and a colorless. The damage up is kind of meh, but it's 20+. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack during his or her last turn, it does 20 plus 40 more damage, and the defending Pokemon is now poisoned.
That's not good at all. That's terrible.
No.
Back in Gen 4,
I don't think there's ever
been
a good Toxicroak card.
Gen 4, that would have been better.
They gave it an EX, and the EX never saw any field play either.
Yeah.
Yeah, the EX, I think, that's from Flashfire.
Yeah.
For those of you wondering. And, yeah, that doesn't look good at all. For double colorless, it does triple poison. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Put 3 damage counters instead of 1 on that Pokemon between turns. That's meh. And then Smash Uppercut for 2 Psychic and a colorless. 80 damage. It's not affected by resistance. Who cares?
Very underwhelmed.
Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah, that's a dumb card. But Shiny Toxicroak is cool, so we got that going for us, which is nice.
Oh, there's a little trivia with that. In the anime, it was actually depicted as it's shiny.
I saw that.
As it's normal. Yeah. So essentially, in like the anime canon,
like the who's that
ordinary.
Pokemon?
Yeah, that's what. So essentially, shiny Toxicroak is normal Toxicroak in the anime. It's kind of
I think they used the shiny one in the anime because they gave one of like the antagonists a Toxicroak. And
there's someone on Team Galactic with a Toxicroak, like one of the people.
And they made it shiny in the anime. I think it was just to make it stand out from Brock's Croagunk.
Might have been.
I think that's why they were using it, but that's my opinion. I don't know anything else.
I'm just reading what they were saying off of Bulbapedia.
Yeah,
so.
That makes sense. That's a good segment there. We just read a Bulbapedia page once an episode.
Yeah,
and I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, I'm just giving you crap. But I mean, it's a solid mod. I'm a big fan of Toxicroak. I'd love to see that on a team somewhere. We should start building teams for these Poke of the Episode things. Like, here's a free team. That sounds like a lot of work.
Didn't we do that before and it just stopped?
No, we were doing like but we used to do on the website like a submit your own team, and like we'd make like a team of the week thing, and you and I would comment on it. We'd essentially just have a Skype conversation, and then we'd just like copy and paste it.
Yeah, but we also were like syncing it up with the Poke of the Episode and stuff or something like that.
We were gonna do that for Battlecast.
Yeah,
but that. We'll just end it there. That's Toxicroak for you guys. Just have fun with your Toxicroaks and doing Toxicroak things, being a frog.
Bad stats and good everything else.
Yeah, good everything else. So that is it for Toxicroak. We are going to kick it on over now, guys, to the mailbag, the part of the show that you guys provide.
It's mail time! It's time for the mailbag! Send in your emails! The mail's here! Check your inbox! It's time for the mailbag! Mail!
And welcome to the mailbag, the part of the show where we read your emails live on the podcast, which is pre-recorded so it's not live in your earbuds. But as always, the mailbag segment is brought to you by the energy drink Green Toros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And as always, we will give out the Green Toros badge roll on our Discord server, which makes your name green and stands out so that people know who you are and that you send in good emails. So we are going to go ahead and read our emails. Last week we gave you a prompt of how would you fix mythical Pokemon? And we'll see what you guys had to say. Our first email is going to be from Linian, and I think Sublime, you've got that one.
Shamu, you're going to love how this ends, but let me read it. All right. Hey, Thatch Sublime and Shamu. After listening to your point, I'd like to share an alternative view on your whole event mythical encounter argument. It's not worth the art cost. In a 2D sprite-based game, unique areas, if built using existing tile sets, take almost nothing to build. In a 3D game, the price is high to build, render, design, model, and scale everything. To make these maps, it not only takes not only money, but artist and modeler time. On the Switch, all these resource costs go up, and with their annual but not quite timetable, you have to make cuts. What would you rather have your designers make? Improving areas that 100% of players will go to when they start up the disc, or making a whole new area that 50% of the players will ever see only once, and half of them are just running to the mythical? Pokemon doesn't have infinite time or infinite money. In a 3D landscape, real estate is just too expensive. It's probably not a coincidence that the last major series of event Pokemon games was in Gen 4. Victini got an area because they used it as launch marketing. Stuff's expensive, yo. Well, that's all I have to debate today. All hail Ron John Hammer of the Heavens, Linian. Right? Yeah.
All the in jokes. And
Yep.
I would much rather them expand my experience and not everybody else's experience, by the way. I just want an area running to the mythical. Just give it to me. It's fine.
I want that. I like that. I like the what was it? The shaman one. The cute little, like, it wasn't anything major. It was something simple. It was just a pass, but it was like
I think they could still effectively do that.
Why can't they just make mythicals in, like, ordinary areas?
Right.
They already have random areas that
Right.
you
You could use the existing areas and
Exactly.
just like unlock a quest in those existing areas.
Right.
like,
Or
I
better
would.
yet, you take like a little island area and you just like mirror it or something like that, and then it looks somewhat different. I'll take that laziness. Boom, we've just fixed your problem.
like they made Mirage Island for why not?
Yeah, that was stupid.
Like, if they did it for why not, they'll it's like, even though it is in the past, but still, it's just, why not?
Why
and that's
not?
the right answer. Why not?
We'll just keep that going forever. Literally forever. Oh, right. Oh, man. Let's keep it going then with our other email from, what's his face? Orange Avenger.
Alright. Dearest Puckle, I hope this letter finds you well, for I am in despair. My soul yearns for a new mainline game that doesn't forces me to drag my finger all over a screen like a savage. Today, while in town gathering supplies, I saw two children fighting over a friend gift gathered at a Pokestop. We have entered the dark times. I live in hope that 2019 will find me still alive and healthy enough to enjoy Gen 8, and that I will not have been torn by Savage Go players. All my love, Orange Adventure.
I just thought it was silly. It was also the only other email we received today. So I thought it was an interesting one to read in this scenario, only because we could talk about the Pokemon Go and how it's influenced Pokemon, which we did. We made an entire episode about that. But I don't know. I'd like to see Gen 8. I can't wait for them to drop some Gen 8 knowledge on us. Now that we know it exists too, I wouldn't be surprised to see something in like February next year. Just like, here's a Gen 8 trailer.
Just drop the starters. That's all people need.
That's what they'll do. I mean, they'll just, honestly, no, what's it called?
And the legendaries. That's usually what they do.
They didn't drop the starters in Gen 7 until May. They announced the game. They showed Solgaleo and Lunala, and then we didn't hear anything until May. It took them 2.5 months, and then we got Poplio, Litten, and Rowlet. And then we were all trying to figure out what they were all going to evolve into. And we all had our fingers crossed for like, not firefighting, not firefighting, not firefighting. And then they almost did. You could tell that they tried real hard to not make it firefighting, but they're like, but every fire type just stands up and becomes like a wrestler / punching guy. And
So they just made him a heel.
So they made him a heel wrestler, and they're like, he's a dark type now. And it was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. But I think it might be interesting I'm really hoping we see that. I don't think they want to announce another game though before Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Honestly, because
they don't want to like separate the hype. They want people to start saving for those instead of this.
Yeah, also because if you can imagine people like us, because I can imagine the three of us aren't super hyped for Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, right? And
I wouldn't get it and play either way.
I'm going to get it and play it because it's kind of my job, but I'm also a huge Pokemon fan. But I think if they were to, like, people like just one tick below us on the Pokemon love scale, right? Were to be like, okay, well, at least it's a game that's coming out and it can satiate me until the next Pokemon game comes out, right? That's kind of the mindset they might be in. But then let's say next month they drop Gen 8 trailer. Hey, a year from now, you'll be able to buy Gen 8. They're going to go, you know what? I'm just going to save my money because this game looks hype. Right? And that's not what they want. They're in the business of taking money out of your wallet. And they're going to do it regardless. They already took $200 out of my wallet because I had to buy 2 copies of it with the Pokeball Go Plus.
Yeah.
So I saved $20, okay? Don't judge me. I need that Mew. How else am I going to fully enjoy my Pokemon Yellow playthrough without Mew? And yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time all around. So that's pretty much it for the mailbag, though. I do not have more. You guys should send in more emails for next week. This was a shorter show than we usually do, but I'm okay with it because the last few have been pretty long. So I want to wrap up with a few other things. As always, you can keep up with your Puckle going-ons by checking out pucklepodcast.com. There we've got links to all of our socials, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. You go on, there's a link there. You can click it. You can follow us there. We have a blast there. You can also just check out our Discord server. There's a invite link to that below. If you want to come to PuckleCon, please remember PuckleCon's happening. PuckleCon, the annual get-together of Puckle. That's what PuckleCon is. Don't ask me what PuckleCon is. When PuckleCon is.
What's PuckleCon?
When is PuckleCon?
Hey, Thatch, what's PuckleCon?
Yeah, I'm not even dealing with this right now. It's like they can't even take the time to listen, you know? And then it is July 21st and 22nd in the Dayton, Ohio Convention Center, room 306. It's going to be way too empty for the amount of people that are showing up. And then there's also so come along. You can win some cool prizes. I literally bought a case of Pokemon cards for prizes, so I'm pretty excited for that. And we're going to just have a blast. It's going to be a good time. Pokemon Stadium 2 minigames, Gold, Silver, Crystal tournament, by the way, virtual console tournament. So definitely finish your game so you can play in that. And that is going to be it for that. You can also come and check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. We really appreciate all of your support there as well. And if you would like to monetarily support the show, you could do so by subscribing to us on Twitch with your Amazon Prime account that you don't use for anything else because you love us so much. You can also go ahead and go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/pucklepodcast, where you can more directly support the show, be a part of the live show that we just did yesterday, and even more in the future. If you become a high enough tier, you actually get free Puckle TCG cards, which are really awesome. And then, yeah, you could just be part of the In Circle. We talk about all the cool things. And if you also want to support the show but get swag at the same time, you can check out our TeePublic. There's a link in the description. You could buy your Green Toro shirt, your Drift Blimp Daycare shirt, anything you want. So check it down in the show notes. I guess that for this week, I'm Trainer Thatch.
I'm Shamu.
And I'm Sublime.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time. Puckle would like to thank all of its patrons for making this show possible, so thank you to Duly Noted, 10 Little Men, Andrea, The Fluffiest Whimsicott, Dr. Shamu, Mongo87, Snag, Dexio, Jushiro, Rotted Mushroom, Bocephus, Alvarin, Seth Vilo, Minor Manetric, Claude9, The Beauty and a Geek, John, R. Sigma, Doc McStuffles, Jestern, The Golden Clef Key, Uncle Oshawott, Trevor, TJ, Shambles, Birdkeeper Cobra, Daniel, Traby, Greg, Alec, Carnivore J, Mikey, Kevin, Hatful Reviews, Ozzy, Sparky, Brian, Dylan, Shira, Lance, Orange Avenger, Thomas, Curtis, Dennis, Echo, Anime Gravy, Travis, Mark, Inferno 235, and The Real EV. Thank you to all of you for making this possible. We are going to be doing another great show for you guys coming up here. A live show next, well, not next, but in 2 weeks on July 13th. We're going to be doing July 13th at about 7 p.m. Eastern. So be there or be square. We will catch you guys on the flip-flop.